Hello and welcome to the Change Coaching Center podcast, where we interview powerful people with powerful stories. And today we have Jim Brush. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you today, Julio?
Oh, I'm great. Thank you for joining me. I'm so happy to have you here. So tell us something about yourself.
Well, let's see. I live in Florida now. I have been for almost 40 years. And I'm one of those people you might call a crazy serial entrepreneur.
Oh, I love those.
I look at just about anything. I may not have $1 in my pocket, but I'm like, I'm going to try that. I got to do this, which many entrepreneurs are like that.
Yeah.
And one of the things that it doesn't make me any different, but when you have ADHD, your ideas are always bouncing off the walls.
Are all the time.
As you know, doctor, it's like a BB in a boxcar.
Yes.
It's just like, and I got this one next. I haven't even finished the last one. So, but anyhow, been in Florida since 2002.
Nice.
And was moved down here from the mainland of Florida, Pompano Beach. And I began running in the Keys, a property on the Atlantic Ocean, which was really nice.
Beautiful.
It consisted of a restaurant, bar, liquor store, flea market, and several rental units.
Nice.
And where I lived was about 25 feet away from the Atlantic Ocean.
Oh my God, that's the life, Jim. That's the life.
So it was kind of nice waking up in the morning, going over to the restaurant, making sure everything's running good, which in the eyes of an entrepreneur, that's the way you want it.
Yeah, that's it.
And then you walk back to the house, you finish your cup of coffee, you get in your kayak, and you go sit in the mangroves and watch the nursery in Mother Nature unfold.
What? That is the life.
It is like the coolest thing you could ever imagine. And if listeners and viewers have not been to the Florida Keys, please go.
It's definitely a go-to place. Yep.
Because once you cross the 18-mile bridge and get into Key Largo, your blood pressure drops.
Automatically.
And you do the speed limit because you don't need to get there any faster. You left Homestead in Florida City, in Miami. You left all of that. So just slow down, take it all in, because on the left side, you have the Atlantic Ocean. On the right side, you have Florida Bay.
Wow.
And
amazing.
There are untold number of places that you can just pull off into. Grab a bite, have a cold brew, stand out there and look at what's going. Watch the loggerheads pop their heads up. And they're looking at you going, I've been here for 1,000,000 years. What are you doing?
What did they know everyone? And are you there now? Are you still there now, or were you not?
No, I'm not. When we had the Key West Key Lime Pie Company, which in and of itself was an entirely different experience. In 2005, when I was running this property in Marathon, Grassy Key, just north of Marathon, I came across a business that was for sale in Key West. And it involved producing and shipping and selling wholesale and retail key lime pies.
Woo.
Now, having been in the hospitality business all of my life at that point, I thought, this is interesting. And I met with the guy and looked around at what the operation he had, gave me some pies to take back to the restaurant with me. And I've got a pretty good palate when it comes to reconstructing something, a flavor, a profile. And I started playing with it at the restaurant. And within about a month or two, I had a pretty close match on. So with the flea market next door, we put up a tent, wheeled out a regular home refrigerator freezer.
Entrepreneur.
And started selling key lime pies. Coca-Cola gave us a sign, and all it said was key lime pies.
Wow.
So,
It's amazing.
in the first several days, I was producing all of these in a tiny, hot, sweaty kitchen, which most kitchens in the US in restaurants are hot and sweaty. And I made these and started selling them at the flea market. And within the first few days, I was selling like 250, 300 pies.
From the flea market?
From the flea market. I put a sign on the roadway, on the side of the roadway, and all it said was key lime pies. And you'd have thought I put a sign out that said bundles of $50 bills free.
So is that in Key West? Are those pies very popular? Is that what?
Well, all through the Keys. One of the things that's interesting about the Florida Keys is, although they did not originate the key lime in the Florida Keys, they were brought to the Florida Keys and South Florida many years ago. I believe, if I'm correct, they're actually from Southeast Asia.
Okay.
So, and it's got their technical name to it. I can't remember it right now, but compared to your grocery store limes or your bar limes, key limes are much smaller, whereas your Persian limes are much bigger.
Got it.
Citrus orontifolia is the name of the key lime, and they have much more tartness to them. Their skin is thinner, and when they're fully ripe during the maturation process, they're actually yellow on the outside.
Got it.
And if you find those, and in the Keys, there are people who have a dozen trees on their property, and they're just falling all over the place.
Okay, so it was easy for you to find the
I could find them anywhere I want. We tried squeezing them ourselves. You don't get a whole lot out of one key lime.
Got it.
So, but we did find quality products that are produced. Many come from Mexico, Texas, California. But they're good quality products. Some are organic. But yeah, it's a very coveted product in the Keys, and people who think they're key lime pie aficionados search everywhere for the best key lime pie they could ever eat.
And you had it, 250 pies. That's a lot of pies from a flea market.
Well, in contrast, when we opened up the key lime pie business, and after several years, and I'll just go through briefly, we did, I think it was 08, 09, we did the National Pie Championships.
Oh, so you were doing competitions.
Oh, we did competition, and which I'd never done before, but my partner, Allison, she goes, "Oh, let's go. It's in Orlando. We can get the heck out of here for a few days." It was in Celebration. What a scary place. You may want to edit that out of here.
Warnings are good. Warnings are good.
Oh my gosh. But in 2008, we won 4 blue ribbons in the National Pie Championships.
Wow.
Yeah, we beat out a lot of big corporations, which was fun, and it's a great event. There's a lot of camaraderie. People come up to you and say, "Hey, if you need anything, let me know. If you want to scale up, if you need production situations, let us know. We can probably help you." Those people are not there to hurt you. They're there to expand, and that's part, like with your company, with coaching, they're there to help you.
Yep.
And you'll never touch Publix. You'll never touch Winn-Dixie or Kroger. So, but if you can run into a chef or a delivery coordinator who says, "I can help you get it here," take that person by the arm and say, "Okay, how can you help me?" Don't just say, "I know everything."
Yep.
Because that's when you might as well just take a ball peen hammer to the front of your head and start whacking away.
So where did you take so what was next? Okay, so you sold out, you were selling really good.
After 08 and 09, I knew after 08, one of the first things I knew I had to do was start broadcasting these wins
Okay.
and really go into the market that I was in, which was specialty desserts, and bring out the highlights that we have, who we are, where we came from, and do self-promotion, press releases everywhere and anywhere. And we advertise, we put a press release out in a specialty food magazine. I believe it's out of New York. It used to be called NASFT. And within a few days of the release, I got a call from the guy, and he said, "Am I speaking to the owner of the best key lime pie in the country?" And I said, "You are."
For sure.
"Oh, yeah, you are." You know, it says so right there in that book. And I said, "Who am I talking with?" He says, "Well, my name is Mike Salmon. I'm the general manager of Cucina in the Cellar in Macy's in Herald Square."
Whoa.
Well, I just about dropped the phone.
Yeah. Wow. That's huge.
I grew up in New York
Mhm.
on Long Island, and Christmas time, it was Manhattan.
You go to Macy's.
You know, going to Herald Square, going to Macy's and getting desserts, going to Roxy and ice skating.
No.
In fact, one year, I forget what year, it was way before this, our family was in Manhattan, and we went to the RCA building. And we were walking through the revolving door. And my sister was in front of me, and I'm in the next little turn. And who walks to our left? John Kennedy Jr.
That's the thing. In New York, you don't know who you're gonna see. It's ridiculous.
My sister saw him, I saw him, and I'm not a celebrity hound. And I just looked at him and I went, and he acknowledged. And I was like, "You have your day to do, bud. I'm not going to bother you.
That's cool.
I don't need your signature, you know." So, and my sister turns around and says,
She was making a big deal out of it.
so, you know, we got it at the turnstile, and that was John.
Wow.
You know, like it was really cool, you know.
I imagine.
But when you know, you realize that you have an opportunity to have your products in a place that you had visited untold amount of times, it's kind of surreal, you know. And so Mike said, "I'm going out of town for a little while. Can you send me some pies? Send them to my chef." And I said, "When are you leaving?" He says, "Probably day after tomorrow." I overnighted a half a dozen pies to him because I wanted I wanted him to have them before he left.
Definitely.
And I tracked it. The pies arrived. An hour later, I got a phone call from him. So he and I were talking, and as he's eating the pie, he said, "These are some of the best pies that I've ever had."
So he called when he received it, and he called you as he was eating it.
He called me as he was eating it.
Honor.
And initially, his chef said, "Mike, I can make key lime pies." He says, "But you don't have national awards. That's what we want."
Got it.
His chef, he said the chef tried it, and he loved it.
No way. So the awards did make a difference.
But that was one of the first.
Well, one of the first. So there's more. Okay, I want to hear this.
There's more. In later that year, I think it was late 09 or early 10, I got a phone call from Food Network.
The Food Network.
And I probably, like you probably watched it a number of times. I've watched it, like millions of other people have watched it. And they asked me if I would be interested in being part of a show. And I'm like, yeah, no, I've got too much to do. I'm busy.
Yeah,
that's a dumb question.
Shouldn't have even asked.
Just and no, I manufacture ball bearings. Why would I want to be on Food Network? So they were relaying to me or indicating what the show was going to be about, and they said, "Well, for right now, we're looking at something that's going to be what's called the key ingredient, relaying to the key lime pie and key limes." So I was like, "Sure." And about that time, Allison's walking through, and she's got her, she's doing all kinds of stuff for accounting and posting this and posting that. And I'm banging on the table. And I got the phone like this. And I'm a right-handed person, so I don't write left-handed. And I took a magic marker. I had a piece of paper, and I just penciled out the letters FN. She goes,
Network. Oh.
Bobby. And I went like this, Bobby Flay. And she just said, she was like,
it?
"Oh yeah,"
right away.
And they told me the scenario, and as soon as they laid out the scenario of how it was going to go, I knew exactly what it was. It was a throwdown with Bobby Flay.
No, what do you mean?
Yep. So, to say I was excited, we were excited, is an understatement. And we scheduled, I had to do an audition video, which I'd never really been on camera before.
That wasn't even.
I'm not a stage person. I guess I am now. But,
that changed.
Yeah, that changed real quick. And, when you're trying to shoot a video production of making a product so it flows properly, you kind of have to put in your head, what are you doing? And the first run through, we totally botched it. So I had everything there, and it's what they call mise en place, all your food products in place. And I sat there, and Allison's doing all the video production. And I said, Al, we need to do this in one take. For no other simple reason than I don't know how to do post-production editing.
You're adapting. That's adapting as an entrepreneur.
It's like, we got to kill this all at once because I don't have any bullets left, babe.
This is it.
So she says, okay. She says, I'll watch you. And as you're talking and doing production, I'll take the camera and do the spots that need to be highlighted. And she's done plays. She's done things like that. She knows camera angles and where to look and how to post things. So I said, okay, we're going to set everything out and we're going to start here. We have the filling already made, had everything laid out. So in my mind, I have to put together my script. And I thought, okay, I said, Al, give me about 5 minutes. So I literally closed my eyes, Julio, and I walked down the table. And my hand motions are doing it.
No way.
And I thought, okay, and I did it 3 or 4 times. And I'm talking to myself out loud with my eyes closed. I wish Allison would have filmed that. That would have been real.
But of course she didn't.
That would have been cool as hell. And I said, all right, I'm ready. So I'm just looking down the line where everything is. And in 4 minutes, I'm going to wind up 8 feet away with a finished pie to go like this to the camera.
Oh, that sounds pretty cool, actually.
1 take, done.
You did it. That's genius.
And that's the audition tape that we sent to Bobby and Food Network. And I contacted the producer that we were dealing with, and I said, it's on its way. It'll be there tomorrow. And he says, can you send it this way? Because he wanted it today. I said, well, give me all the links. I'll see what I can do. We figured it out. He had it that afternoon. 2 days later, we got a call from Food Network. We're approved, ready to go. They're going to be down in Florida in 2 weeks to start production. So I was like, yes.
Way. Look at you. You were on fire.
Oh, yeah, man. And when I really wasn't supposed to tell people about it.
But that's hard. I mean,
Yeah.
that's hard.
But, you know, the Florida Keys only has 75,000 people. Who's going to tell?
You have to.
I told a few people that I knew down in Key West. And before I know it, it was in the Florida Keys Weekly.
No, they put it up. You weren't supposed to tell anybody. Well, it is what it is.
That's what happens,
Yeah.
you know. What do they call it? Jimmy Buffett calls it the Coconut Telegraph.
Yeah. So you got to do the show. So it was the Bobby Flay show. It was that show. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and the production crew, I think it was about 5 or 6 guys and gals, and they were really great. I mean, they knew that we had Allison has stage presence. I never have until that, and then look what happened now.
Mm-hmm. you had to do it.
Screw all that.
Yep. That's the
Lack
way it
of
works.
experience just went out the window. But they were really great, you know, walked us through things. And James, who was the producer, he says, what do you want to do? I said, I want to shoot this, man. I want to have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
He says, we will make that happen. We will make that happen. So, but, you know, from there, we did the throwdown.
How was that? How was it?
It was interesting. It was interesting. One day we did a production at a friend's house because it needed a certain layout. And he was the only person I could find who had a flat kitchen counter as opposed to the high-rise step counters.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a place right on the water. His crab fishing boat was right out back. So they got a lot of what they call B shots on that. And we shot it there. And then the next day, we were in the final production area where the competition was supposed to take place. And it was in Marathon, and I forget the name of the resort. I've been there 1,000 times, but I don't remember the name of it. And as we're setting up, they've got Bobby's table over to the side, setting their things up. So I'm like, okay, if I'm here, duh.
I know who's there.
And I've got 30 of my closest friends. What's that table for?
Oh my God.
Oh, it was kind of funny, you know. And where I was positioned in the room, I could see directly into the double doors going into the kitchen, which obviously have the glass cutouts. Yep. Standing there, and they're shooting me. They're asking me questions, this and that. Allie and I are joking around. I look to my left, and who's got their mug in the window? Bobby Flay.
No. Wait, but did you know you were gonna challenge him at this point? Did you know that's what was happening?
You know, I was 99.9% certain that it was going to be Bobby.
But they didn't tell you it is going to be him.
No, they didn't tell me.
Oh my God. Good for you. Talk about pressure.
Zero.
So that was a great experience, right? Did you enjoy it?
No, it was great. I mean, it exposed me and Allison to things that we'd never done before. Yeah. She's never really been on camera in a production series like that. She's done numerous plays in New York and in Florida, and where else? Colorado. Mm-hmm. But nothing that was of this magnitude, exposure-wise.
Mm-hmm. It was the real deal. It was big.
Which sometimes, and I got to say, I don't know how those who do this for a living live with the presence in front of people all the time. You know, when after the show had aired, I was recognized everywhere.
Of course. Yeah, of course.
We took a few days off and we went over to Fort Myers, walked into a restaurant on the beach. Never, ever had I been there before. And I probably had not been to Fort Myers for 20 years.
No way.
Walked in, sat down, and all of a sudden I see a group of servers in the corner going,
That's the guy. That's the guy.
and they're smiling. Three of them are walking over the table, and I went, Al, get ready. She says, what? I said, just side eye to your right. She was like, okay. Are you the people?
So how do you get you? Like, what would you do? This was new for you.
Well, because it's such a small local area, and you acknowledge that obviously in a very friendly way. You don't turn around and say, we want to be left alone. Get the hell out.
Yeah, you don't become.
You don't do that. But as I said, those people that are up in this upper echelon, I'm sure they're going, I get that every single day.
Yeah.
Can't I just sit down and have a cheeseburger without you bothering me? And I get that. But with any type of exposure comes that exposure.
Definitely.
And the people are very nice, and they're restaurant people. I'm an industry person, so you appreciate that acknowledgement.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't bother you and ask you all kinds of stupid questions. How long did it take? What was Bobby Flay like? Did you? No, enjoy it, have fun. The people that are courteous, they know the protocol. They'll leave you alone. I run into some that didn't read that chapter in life.
Somebody didn't tell them.
Your mom didn't raise you right. Just because the person has been on TV doesn't mean you have the right to walk up to them and interrupt their dinner with their partner.
And it's like you say, you imagine the people that live that life. This is all day, every day, everywhere. Yeah.
Doctor, I could not imagine. When you've seen the stories of some very famous people, Anthony Bourdain, for one.
Yes.
At the end, he said, I hate my life. I hate my audience.
Yeah.
I believe he said, I hate the network or something along those lines. And I get it. I so enjoyed watching him because his mannerisms and his speaking was not fake.
Yeah. It was the real deal.
I like this. I don't. This sucks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was the real deal. That guy was something else.
We've all been exposed to hard times and bad shit. But that one had to hurt him so bad because they traveled the world together, and even Robert, Anthony had said, he's one of my best friends.
Yeah. So our mental health is really important.
It is.
It's vital. It's vital. So let me ask you a question. So you went, this is a pinnacle. I mean, if there's more, it's amazing. So this is a pinnacle. So let me ask you, you said when you started, now that we're on mental health, you said you have ADHD. How did you manage to stay focused on this business to take it this far?
It was hard. Trying to, and you can read all the articles you want about ADHD, and as many articles as there are and opinions, there are that many different ways that people will tell you how to take this over.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not easy. And I made the reference earlier, BB in a boxcar. And when you have 20 ideas going on, that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
And the boxcar is on a train that's on tracks that are unlevel. And that's how you feel about your life.
I love that.
You're just bouncing around. You're trying to make sense of it all.
Mm-hmm.
And many times, even today, I have on your desk, I don't know how many notepads and legal pads you have. I have probably 5.
Oh, wow.
and every one of them has a different subject on it. And I find myself from time to time stepping back and saying, is that relevant? Is that going to make me money? How is this going to help my day? I throw them in the garbage. And you have to, from time to time, and I know there will be people who are watching this and listening that have ADHD that will understand some of this, maybe argue with some of it. But there's no arguing that it is the BB in a boxcar lifestyle, because you try and grasp it and another one comes along and you say that one's better. And it's hard. It really is, and there's a lot of times where I just disappeared for a day. I don't take my phone. I don't take my iPad, and I go sit. And I may go grab lunch someplace by the water, or go inland, someplace where there's alligators and you can see raccoons walking around.
Why alligators?
It's a Florida staple. Come on.
I know you're supposed to stay away from those things.
Well, yeah, I'm on an upper level. They're down in the water. But you just sometimes you have to really step back. If your mind starts going too fast, you have to understand how to process that. If you keep thinking about 9 different things and all 9 things have the same priority, in reality they don't
at all. You're right.
So if you step back, write down those 9 things and prioritize how you're going to handle them, and really what is the most important thing. And when you do that, figure out which ones you can tackle now and get it off the table.
Ooh, that is some really good advice. Seriously, Jim, that's some really, really good advice.
And if you think about it, if you have a legal pad, and let's go back to the 9 things. You write those 9 things, each one on a different page. And then you prioritize them. And you say, okay, what do I need to accomplish to remove this page? Little tasks, as opposed to big tasks, are easier to handle. And I do that. Like I said, with all of the 6, 7 legal pads on my desk,
that's your process.
That's my process. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But at least you're waking up in the morning saying, I have to accomplish 3 things. You prioritize them, and maybe you prioritize them before you go to sleep. And then you get up fresh, you attack those things, and you say, that one's done.
I love it.
That one's done. Oh, all of a sudden you've got all 3 of them done by noon.
Wow. That's
how you go about the rest of your day.
That's really, really good advice, Jim. Seriously, and that answers the question, because you were onto something huge here. So having ADHD is something that can definitely slow you down in a project like what you were working on. So what happened with the pie next? Where was it next? So did you win?
Let's see what from the Throwdown. That aired in March, I believe, of 2010. Then we got a phone call from CBS.
What was going on?
It was actually during that time. Before that, we got a phone call from Vienna Beef in Chicago.
Oh my God!
And they were putting out a program to sell foods from across America, and they wanted our key lime pie. We did that. We sent them, I don't know, several hundred pies to put into their program, shipping program. That went very well. But after that, we got a phone call from CBS that they wanted us to appear on the CBS Early Show with Rebecca Jarvis.
Wow.
So sadly enough, I had to fly to Manhattan.
I love it. Oh,
it was terrible. I had to stay at the Parker Meridian overlooking Central Park.
You know, these things, these bad things that happen, huh?
Allison was so mad at me because we're both New Yorkers. And she was so mad. She goes, "You're going to Manhattan without me?"
Not only to Manhattan, you're going in style.
Oh, yeah. I had stayed at the Parker Meridian back in the late 80s. And it was one of my, I mean, I hadn't been to many hotels in Manhattan, but that was one of my favorites. And I got to my room, and I forget, it was high up, maybe 15, 20th floor. And I looked out, and there's Central Park right in front of me.
I'm from New York as well, so I got you. Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, Upper West Side, Upper East Side. Like, I look down, there's the cabbies, there's hot dogs, pretzel. I'm like, I got to go for a walk.
And you made it. Your product has made it. You look at where you are. So this was a best time to come back and see. Oh, that must have been a great feeling.
We when I arrived at the airport, they had a limo waiting for me, take me to the hotel.
Look at you.
Terrible.
I never knew pie can do so much for an individual.
Me neither. And I got, they took me to the studio because I had to bring them some film and meet the producer. And her name escapes me right now, but she was really great. The whole crew. I mean, I actually stuck around after the shoot and watched the whole production.
Oh, really?
I'd never seen the food stylists and how they do things and set it up. And I was so enthralled. And I'm standing there, I'm like, I'd love to do this. This would be fun. You know, and you know, the fact that I had my key lime pies there and the key lime pie on a stick dipped in chocolate, you know, it was rather brain boggling.
Yeah,
you know? Something I'd never done before. So it was really cool.
What a life. You must have been floating in air. That's all I can see it as, because this was an experience.
It was. And the one thing I wish I'd have done on the way out after loading up into the limo is on the way to the airport, there was a White Castle. And I should have told the driver, stop there. I want to get a couple of dozen to take back.
Too late.
Sorry. Jim, you should have said that about 5 blocks ago.
Yes. So you got on the show. Was that it? Was there more, or did you...
Well, during the show, and this was kind of funny. It was called Foods Across America, and it was with Rebecca Jarvis.
Yes, I've seen it.
It was July 3rd of that year. I think it was 2010 or 2011. And there's Wayne Mueller Barbecue from Taylor, Texas. There are several other places from around the country, lobster and so on. I was the last one. I'll finish up with dessert. And the cameras and the whole crew, production crew is in front of me. And there's a crowd behind us that they draw from the street. And, you know, they clap and blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
That
Sure
kind of stuff. And crowd's over here. Now, in frame is Rebecca. I'm off camera. So I could do whatever I want. The people behind me they're not loud enough for me. So I turn around and go, the crowd erupts.
I'm here. You guys got to make noise. Yeah, good.
I've got like 50, 60 people behind me from, you know, one side of the street to the other. And all of a sudden, and the camera producer that was on set, he goes, "You're hired."
Forget the pies. Come work for us. That was good.
We'll get you as a crowd enthusiast.
Yes, that's a talent. That's a talent.
Yeah. So we did that, and I got write-ups in a few New York magazines for that. In Florida, it made the Miami Herald and actually the Orlando newspaper. But it again, you know, Any exposure is good exposure.
Yes, any at all. And for this to be something you created, I mean, you completely created it. I know you recreated it from something you tasted before, but it was still your creation. And it's going this far. That's amazing.
And I have to say, I mean, Alice and I worked very hard.
Mm-hmm.
There for entrepreneurs out there, there is no such thing as a small business.
Yes. Say it loud. Say it loud.
It literally is all consuming.
Mm-hmm.
Because in order to make your business successful, not only do you need to know many different facets of what goes on, you have to have the proper people to help you accomplish that. From lawyers and accountants, business coaches and life coaches and advisors. You have to know your limitations.
That's right.
After we had sold the business and moved up to the other parts of Florida, I said to Allison, I think I'll just open up a small deli.
You couldn't just leave it alone. I mean,
well,
that's that entrepreneur.
If you think about it, what really is a small deli? Whether it's 5 seats or 50 seats, you still buy truckloads of stuff coming in. You still have employees that you're responsible for. You still have to take care of the advertising, the marketing, the accounting, and so on and so forth. And all of that requires a team.
That's right.
You could have a deli that does nothing but carry out, and you still need all of those moving parts.
That's right.
So, when I see these things online, I have, what did I hear one day? I have 44 Airbnbs and I work 5.5 hours a month. Oh, please. Please stop it.
That's not the way. So it takes hard work, right? It takes hard work to build a successful business.
It takes hard work. It takes drive.
That's right.
It takes a lot of breath out of you sometimes.
Yeah.
And honestly, through the beginning growth years, we spent several nights in bed crying about where the money is going to come from to do the things we want to do, like pay rent.
That's right.
Buy more product. And because of my and our continued exposure of the business, we were able to gain more clients nationwide, wholesale clients that at any given point would order $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 worth of product to be shipped to them. So, and more often than not, during those times of, an order would come in for $3,000. Oh. And it would literally save you. And it would save this, or at least put it at bay for a while.
Yeah, that's right.
And being an entrepreneur is not easy.
It's not easy at all.
I remember watching one time on Shark Tank, Mark Cuban said to a guy, he says, "You're not an entrepreneur, you're a wantrepreneur."
Yeah, I saw that. That hit me too. It made me think. How much of this had to do with your story? Like how much of the pie, how much of your story or your personal brand story did you use to push these pies or to create this brand?
A lot of the exposure that we got through that we're able to achieve from the National Pie Championships, Throwdown, CBS. We also did fundraisers with the Miami Heat. We used to attend their family festival every year. So we were giving away key lime pies. And I met Riley, I met a lot of players. Jay Sable, who was the head athletic trainer for the Heat, became a good friend of ours. So he would get us tickets to games.
Oh,
You know,
cool.
so yeah, it was we had a lot of nice little perks. But even through that, we had a lot of people in South Florida,
Mhm.
Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach. We picked up some accounts in Palm Beach and Fort Lauderdale. So we were, every few months we were shipping several $1,000s worth of product up there, which that got on the treadmill and it kept going.
Mhm.
So, we had products from California, Michigan, New York, Pennsylvania, Maryland, Georgia,
All over the place.
Missouri. We covered a lot of states.
And what do you think was the most important part to that success of this company? What was the most important key if you had to tell an entrepreneur?
Well, one of the most important keys that I didn't do the best at, and I realized that, is although my employees were extremely important,
Mhm.
and I lacked some of those skills. I had a lot of really, really great people.
Mhm.
And like in any business where you have multiple employees, there's some that are just jerks and don't want to do anything.
Definitely.
And that's hard to deal with. Sometimes I wasn't the best employer, but I realized that.
Oh,
And,
that's big of you saying.
and I think if employers realize their skills right up front
Mhm.
and step back and say, the customer is very, very important. They're key to your success. But the people that are taking care of that customer and how you take care of that customer is just as critical and maybe even more.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because if they don't want to be there, what's
Yeah.
the sense of being there?
The business, yeah, it's in their hands, really. I mean, the
You know,
success of it. Mhm.
if you want to say, I'm going to open up a business, I'm going to run it for a year, I'm going to turn it over to a key person, and I'm going to disappear. Well, you better make sure that every single person there is up to knowing that this is their responsibility
Yep.
to continue the success of that business.
Oh, that's good. So that's what you said was one of the most important things is taking care of the people that work
It's your
for you.
people. It's your
Mhm.
people.
And what was the best marketing strategy for these pies, in your opinion? Now that you look back at it from all this time.
Constant positive exposure,
Oof.
wherever you can get it. If you have to give away free samples, do it.
Amen to that.
We
Yes.
did, but they were in Key West has numerous, hundreds of events every single year. Sailfish tournaments, which bring in boats that are worth $5, $8, $10 million, $20 million. Money is no object. It does, but it doesn't, because that's an expense right for them. And I have seen boats come in, stay at luxurious hotels in Key West. Their crew is paid ungodly amounts of money. They eat at every best restaurant in Key West. And they may not win, but after that, they're off to the Aruba.
They're gone. Yep.
And after that, they're off to the Baja California. It's part of their business culture.
Got it.
The group or persons that owns those boats and
Mhm.
those things. It's like race cars and stuff.
Got it.
It's part of their business. But what was your original question? I'm sorry.
No, you answered it. So where are you now? Now what are you business wise? What are you doing now? Are you completely retired? Are you still in the
Business-wise,
grind?
I really no. I still try and promote the pies as much as possible,
Okay.
but I've kind of slowed down a little bit in things, and with the ADHD and not being in the business that I was, you try and figure out what your next step is going to be.
Got it.
Um, And, you wake up in the morning, you go to bed at night, and it's that BB in a box call.
Yep.
You're trying to figure out your next step. I'm 65 years old. I don't know what 65 is supposed to feel like.
Oh, got it.
Because I keep going. I don't play the lotto. That's
That's not what you
and
do.
I don't, honestly, I don't know why they publish it. So and so went to Publix the other day and walked up with a $1 million lotto ticket.
Why are you telling me? So how long did the pie did you last with the pies? How long, more or less? What was the?
We started the business in 06 and we sold it in 14.
Wow. Okay.
So, 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
And now when we sold it, the last hurrah was we were featured on CNBC, The Prophet, with Marcus Lemonis.
Wait, you were on The Prophet?
Yep.
Oh my god! You had to leave that one for last. You just
Well,
let it like
it's the last hurrah. It was the one thing we finalized. And having done the throwdown, having been on CBS,
Mhm.
I'm not foreign to being on camera. I was foreign to reality shows.
Got it.
And
So that was different. That was
if someone
completely-
ever approached me to do it again, I would set my own rules.
Got
And
it.
I'll just leave it at that.
Got it. So it's difficult. It's difficult
It
to
was
do that.
it was an
reality.
experience for both Allison and I, and it was rather arduous. So if anybody's watching this or listening, and you say, "I want to go do Shark Tank. I want to go do whatever other food reality show," think
Dang.
before you jump in.
Yeah.
Sometimes I question why some of these people who host the shows are so nasty and degrading to the people. Bobby Flay even said, "I don't need to yell at people to teach them." You may want to fact check that one, but I just sometimes I don't understand it.
Everybody's different, and
And
some
everybody's
people-
different. Some people respond differently to different
That's right.
stimulations.
That's right.
And I get it. I didn't, but again, would I do it again? Sure. I would read through the contract and would be more on my terms
Got
in
it.
the studio. And it was kind of hard sometimes, things that they ask you,
Mhm.
questions that they propose, things that they try and manipulate, which I didn't agree with and I walked away from.
Got it.
And you and I will have a side conversation about
Yeah,
those. So
Definitely, I would like.
I'll
yeah.
give you a little bit more detail. But again, for those who say, "Well, they can get me out of this," well, you got yourself into it.
Yeah,
You
you
get yourself out of it.
I like that. Oh my God, that's really powerful that you just said that. Seriously, that is very powerful.
There is no fairy godmother or
Mhm.
godfather
Yes,
that's going to walk
sir.
in, tap a wand in the building,
Mhm.
kumbaya, it's all better. Doesn't happen that way.
And that's how you grow. That's how you learn. That's how you avoid getting into it again, whatever situation it is. It's the only way.
That's how you learn.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I remember. I've listened to many people in my years. I remember Anthony Robbins saying one time, people use the phrase "I failed." Way long ago, he said, "You didn't fail. You didn't get the results you desired."
That's right.
And even Kevin O'Leary, you learn from that's a lesson.
Yeah.
And if you're going to sit there and go, "I failed," and I've done it, many entrepreneurs do. You say, "Okay, where did I screw up?
That's right.
What did I do wrong?
Mhm.
How do I fix this?"
That's right. Yeah. That was great advice. I love it. You're a really positive person. I mean, This is a lot of good stuff, but I guess someone that makes delicious pies. Do you think they still use you sold? Do you think they still use the same recipes, or do you think it tastes the same? Have you tasted it after?
No, actually, they changed the recipe, which is okay. Um, what the crust I bought was a Keebler pre-made product, which Keebler makes an excellent product.
Yeah, definitely. I eat them all the time.
You can't argue that. They wanted a handmade a crust that was made from scratch, and I get that.
Yeah.
When I tried to do it, we were selling towards the end of our tenure there over 40,000 pies a year.
That's a lot of pies.
That's a lot to make by hand.
Wait. Oh, okay. So we didn't talk about, you were still making them by hand.
No, we were getting the Keebler quality crusts.
Got it.
They started by hand.
Got it. But they're using what, machines now, right? I mean, it's a
process.
Oh no,
everything was made purely by hand. They would mix in a Hobart mixer and then dump it out, and people would put it into pie tins and press it out all by hand.
Oh, geez. You would never even think that's the way I assumed it's machines, that's a lot of work.
And, I guess it's working out okay for them. One of the deals that we made with the show is we get royalties every single month.
Oh, okay. So you hear that? Whoever's listening, go buy some pies, please.
Yep. KeylinePieCo.com.
Yes, please.
It'll be up there.
Yep, like, I'll put it
at the bottom. Go to this website right here, that one there.
So let me ask you this, and before we go, so how do you feel that this pie is still out there and it's still making people happy? Do you ever feel like it was your legacy, or it is your legacy?
It is my legacy and our legacy, Allison and I.
That's right.
We were in Cape Coral the other day, and I have a storage unit there, and just chatting and about the business and where we're going and so on. And I said, Al, I got to tell you, and I know she'd agree with me. I said, 8 years, you and I have been together for 20. I said, I'm very damn proud of the business that we built.
That's right. You should be.
Very proud.
Mm-hmm.
Through every trial and tribulation and the tears, the setbacks, the advancements, the joys, the things that we accomplished together. I am so proud of where we went and where we came from.
That's right.
From one little store in Big Pine Key that her and I did the entire build out of drywall and beams, and had contractor friends of mine who helped me with the electrical and the plumbing. Her and I put together a 10 by 10 walk-in freezer.
No, it's real entrepreneurs.
I used to buy freezers. I never put one together.
She learned. But as an entrepreneur, you have to, right? You have to learn things. You have to go outside your box. Yeah, definitely.
And you're trying to put the roof on the roof panels up on the freezer. I'm 5'7", Allie's 5'6".
You got on each other's shoulders.
How do you do this? So we're dancing around, and you got wide push brooms. We're holding them up, and all right, go this way, and that's what we did.
That's right.
And putting down tiles. I'm on my knees, and man, they're burning. You put it all together. She said to me one day, she says, I need to go out and buy some decorations for the shop. It's okay. Gave her a check, gave her my credit card. Said, go. She got to buy whatever I want. She buy whatever you want. I don't care how much you spend. Go buy whatever you want. She went from Key Largo to Key West and came back with a truckload of stuff.
Oh, you shouldn't have. That's your fault. You shouldn't have said whatever you want.
And and she came back with She had a parrot that was about 3 feet long that had string on it. The whole thing was made of beads. And the bottom beads were all strung. And people used to walk in the store going, "Is that for sale?"
Nope.
She still has it.
No way.
We had a little hula girl, bobblehead hula girl that went on the counter. And we stuck it to the counter. Somebody tried to steal it one day.
You can't steal the hula girl. What is wrong with people?
Allison still has it.
She made sure to have it. Wow, this is, I'm telling you, this was an amazing story. It's very powerful that you were able to overcome your ADHD and still go forward that way. That was really good. And to see those pies still producing, I mean, you should be very proud of yourself.
Well, and you know, for entrepreneurs who continue to see what they developed and still in production, still available for shipping nationwide, the story is still out there. That in of itself is very empowering.
Yeah.
And that should make you say, I can do anything.
That's right.
You know, and you get a sense of, I did it.
That's right.
If that's
You did.
the new phrase.
I did it.
You know,
You did, though.
stand in front of your sign. I mean, I've got boxes and boxes of accolades and awards. We went on to making hot sauce and barbecue sauce.
So you even won. Wow.
We won National Scovie Awards back in 2017. You know, one of the years at the Miami Heat Family Fun Festival, we had barbecue sauce and our Chipotle key lime barbecue sauce. And Coach Riley walks up, we gave him a sandwich, and I had bottles on the counter. And he says, "Can I have one of these?" I said, "You can have all of them."
That's what they're here for. Well, I am running out of time, but this was an amazing story. Is there anything else you want to tell anybody that's listening out there before we go? Anything you think would be important for them, entrepreneurs or anyone?
Sometimes, and one of the things that brought us down to reality is you have to be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it.
Hey, brother.
And you have to understand how to deal with that. There were many times and situations that, unfortunately, we were drowning in our own success, and it hurt us spiritually, relationship-wise, financially. So if you want to be successful, don't say I can handle all of it.
That's right.
Because trust me, you can't. You have to reach out to people that have the ability to help you, that you can talk to. Life coaches doesn't hurt. Even if it's just making a phone call to somebody who is your friend,
Yep.
an advisor, and say, "Hey, can I bend your ear for 10 minutes?" Doesn't hurt.
Yeah, you can't do it all alone. It's impossible.
So, you know, I guess, you know, be careful what you wish for. But go for what you wish for.
Yes. Just be ready.
Be
like
ready. And if you fall down, you skin your knees, get your ass back up.
That's right. I love that. Yes. 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 I love it.
I mean,
the
only thing, if you skin your knees, put a freaking Band-Aid on it
and go back to work. Yes, I love it. We need more of that. We need more of that.
Stop with this wham. I failed. No, you didn't fail.
No such thing. It's only over when you stop trying. So as long as you're still trying, you did not fail. I love it.
When you fail is when you quit.
That's right. I love it. Well, Jim, we should do this again sometimes, but with more stories, because I know you have, every time we talk, you have a lot of great stories. Every time we talk, I love your stories. I really, really do. thank you for telling everybody your story. Thank you for putting out such a wonderful product. And thank you for giving these tips of ADHD. It's going to be really helpful for people to hear.
Gotta hope so.
It is.
But if you can help one, and then they turn around and help one, and each one multiplies, now you got 10 people helping one.
That's right.
Think
I
about
love
that.
it. Well, you're really inspirational and motivating. Thank you for joining us today. Have a great day.
You too. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later.